Hey y'all, so today let's talk about the mystique of found objects. And by found objects, I simply mean objects you find going places here and there just unexpectedly. Now, let me start this by saying when I was little, I was a very shy, introverted child. And I didn't have a lot of friends. And that's nobody's fault but my own. I just wasn't very outgoing and didn't like to approach people or talk to people. And so I was pretty much a loner. I would play by myself a lot, out in the yard, in the woods near our house, exploring, going on long walks. One thing I used to love to do is just walking up to the library. If I had $1 or two, I might walk up to the store, get a soda and some candy, and walk back home. But it wouldn't be a, straight home. It'd be, a sort of winding, curving path. But I had a rich imagination, and I always was interested in magic in some form, just growing up. And I had read a book in elementary school, or a story, and it was about this boy, like me, my age at the time, who was always finding things, and everybody kept wondering, how's he finding this stuff? And I think part of the story was maybe the parents suspected he was stealing, but that wasn't the case. What happened was, whenever he would go somewhere or walk somewhere, he wouldn't look at where he was going. He would look down at the ground and sort of scan the ground. And that really stuck in my mind. So, I kind of started doing that. When I went somewhere, I just sort of looked down at the ground because I was shy anyway, and it kept me from, looking at people or making eye contact with them. And I started finding things. And when I found something, I always felt like I had this sense of awe that maybe whatever this thing was, that it had some kind of power. Like it was a talisman or an amulet, and it would do amazing things. And so I'd kind of hold on to it and then just kind of, pay attention to what was happening around me after I found it. If good things happened, maybe it was good luck. If bad things happened, maybe it was bad luck and I'd get rid of it. And I've sort of held on to that belief in my old age as it is. Even today when I'm going somewhere, I don't always necessarily look where I'm going, but, I'll still kind of scan the ground in front of me, and I would find interesting things, shells, feathers, things of that nature. Anyway, in one of my previous videos, it was the one on where I was digging up dandelion roots in the backyard. And then I did a follow-up video to that where I showed y'all about finding a marble. I found a marble out there in the backyard while I was digging up them dandelion roots. And then I shared a story in another video about how I learned about scrying and how to scry from an African witch doctor. And so after that video, I said, that old Mystique, I said, I wonder if there's something special about this marble. I wonder if it has some kind of power, some kind of gift. Because, really, it doesn't matter when it comes to scrying. I mean, yeah, some crystals are better than others, but again, this is just a simple glass marble. The power is not in the marble for scrying. The power is in you, in your own mind, your own ability to shift your consciousness and see with the mind's eye rather than the physical eye. This thing here for scrying, it's just something to distract your boring monkey brain so that your psychic faculty could sort of take over and feed you images and words and feelings. But like I said, well, I want to hold on to this marble. I don't want to throw it away. Maybe there's a reason I found it. And so I didn't want to lose it. So I put it in this here old pill bottle I had laying around. Now I got this from about 2 years ago when I had my wisdom teeth taken out at the ripe old age of, how old was I? 44? I think I was 44. So I dropped this marble in this pill bottle and put the lid on it, and I put it in my magical cabinet in the kitchen, and I turned to walk away. And I got halfway back to my seat where I was going to sit down, and I heard, no, I don't want to roll around in this old bottle. I need a piece of cotton in the bottom of this bottle that I can rest on. And look at there. Well, I went and got a piece of cotton. I went and found a piece of cotton and stuck it down in there for that marble to rest on so we wouldn't roll around in there. And the reason I did that is because, being a witch, sorcerer, wizard, spiritual person, I'm accustomed to non-animate objects or spirits communicating with me, speaking. And I say speaking with me, but it's not necessarily speaking. It happens in different ways. For example, in this instance, I didn't exactly hear those words, but it was more of seeing pictures in my head and having a feeling that I had to kind of interpret, even though in that moment it was clear what this marble wanted. The best way I could explain it is, have you ever saw a TV show or a movie where someone doesn't speak English or speaking a foreign language and there's someone who's sort of translating for them, and the foreign speaking person will say something and the translator will say, well, I don't know, there's no English word for what they're trying to say, and so they try to say it in a different way. That's what it feels like. I'm getting images and feelings that I have to kind of interpret in words for myself. But there are some times where objects and things do literally speak to me. I hear them say things internally, almost like my own internal monologue, but I know that the words, the thoughts, the speech isn't coming from my own spirit, but from a spirit outside myself. So I said to this marble, I said, well, Marble, I don't know if you got a name because you ain't told me, so I'm going to call you Marble. I said, Marble, I'm going to give you this nice little home to stay in, but I'm going to need you to, do something for me. What can you do? And I said, well, I've scried successfully in the past, so I put this marble in my hands, and I sort of went into a peaceful state of mind, and I didn't look at the marble like I said. You look through the marble. And of course I took my glasses off because it just makes more sense to me. And I had something on my mind that I was worried about. And I told the marble, I said, I got this situation I'm a little worried about. I'm nervous about it. I know in the end everything's going to be okay in the long run. But in this moment right here, I'm a little bit worried. I try to be positive. I'm not a Pollyanna. I used to be a very negative thinker. Change scared me. Anytime change was introduced in my life, I always assumed it would make my life worse. And it took hard work and a lot of time. But I got to a point where I trained myself to believe that whenever change entered into my life, I just naturally assumed it would make my life better. But I still have these weak moments where the doubt, the fear creeps in. And I try to tell myself, I expect good things. And because I think it, it is so. I expect good things. And because I think it, it is so. And so with that in mind, I asked the marble to show me a sign. Give me some information. Give me some reassurance that everything's going to be okay, even though ultimately I know it will. I just needed a little reassurance. And so I looked into the marble, and it took about 5 minutes just relaxing, because I had to sort of push the doubt away and focus on the good. And what I saw in that moment was a wishbone. You've seen a wishbone before. It's sort of like that, I guess, or maybe an upside down Y, kind of like a divining rod too, which is a good symbol. And being someone who reads bones and a bone reader, I have a wishbone in one of my bone sets, and one of the meanings associated with it is that a wish will come true. And so for me, the message of that marble in that moment was, what I wanted will come to pass. What I wanted ultimately will come to pass. So that told me there was no need to worry. And so probably about a day later, what's today, Saturday? Yeah, so this was yesterday. I'd been waiting for a message with some directions. I ain't talking about from spirits, but from another person, I needed another person to get back in touch with me with an answer about this thing I was worried about. And the answer I got was positive. It was the one that I was hoping for, and it's the one that I needed to hear. So all that worry just drained out of me. And I knew in that instant that yes, even though I knew it before, I was reassured everything's going to be okay with this situation I was worried about. So I just want to say to y'all, if you're going out and about and you're looking down on the ground and you find some interesting object, even some mundane object, maybe it's a shoestring, piece of string, Some people say red string is lucky. There's been times I found red string or red ribbon and I'll pick it up. Just hold on to it. Feel it out. Talk to it. Are you lucky? Are you something? Good? Do you have a message for me? Hold on to it. Sort of pay attention to what goes on around you. Any interesting coincidences, If good things happen, that's great. Bless the object. Thank it. If bad things happen, well, I choose to believe, well, that bad thing came into my life to teach me a lesson, or I am strong enough to deal with whatever this is, even if it's like a little bit of bad luck. I'm strong enough to deal with it. Cleanse the object and then get rid of it. Depending on if it's a piece of string, burn it. If it was something like this marble, I maybe would take it somewhere and toss it in water or bury it somewhere, what have you. You'll know what to do to get rid of it. And don't hold on to the negativity of, I picked up this marble and bad things happened and I got rid of it, but now I'm worried it's stuck on me. Don't get hung up on that, because just like I said, I expect good things, and because I think it is so. And the reverse is true also. If you expect bad things will happen. So always remember, try to have a positive attitude. It's okay to look for signs for reinsurance, but don't get stuck in the mindset of, bad things are going to happen. Yes, bad things will happen, but good things will happen too. Anyway, that's my story of the mystique of found objects. Have you ever found something interesting walking about, going somewhere? What happened? Tell me your story. I'd like to hear from you.